welcome to my life update. This is my life update after running a business for over a decade, particularly running a business predominantly centered around Black people. Okay, so pull a chair. Pull a chair. The conversation is about to be deep. It's about to be deep. Okay, so pull a chair. Anyway, so I'm going to use three examples to try and have this conversation efficiently. At this point in my life, I say I'm in a season of growth. This is my season of growth, okay? So, in a season of growth, I believe it's important to do some reflection, and this feels about the right time to have that reflective conversation, try and think about how to change certain things that have not worked so far and how to build on other things that have worked. Okay, so this is my reflective video on just my growth season, to be honest. So I said I'm going to use three different examples, but before I use those three different examples, I'm going to play a video that I recently saw that reminded me what started me off on this journey altogether. Okay, I'm just going to play it now.
Bro, if black people would act the same way as Chinese people do, they would be so much more powerful, so much more rich. There are so many black people in the world. There are so many, especially African Americans, bro. The thing is, they are not bonding. They're fighting each other. If they would be as united as Chinese people, bro, they will be powerful as fuck. But they're divided. But they could be powerful, but they don't have this unity. They don't have this gene which makes them connected. Or maybe it's the elite which keeps them divided. Bro,
So basically, that video spoke about how powerful the Black community, Black people in the diaspora, or just Black people altogether, all around the world in Africa, can be if we sort of pulled together and did something together, right? The power of unity, the power of sheer human force, I genuinely believe is significant, okay? So personally, I think I've known this for a long time. There are so many conversations that have been had in the past about Black people coming together and growing together and etc. So it takes me right back to now, really going over a decade now, that I thought of importing shea butter and black soap, like African products from Africa into the UK, right? Because for me, it made sense that if we have these things in abundance, that we benefited from it, that the revenue generated from these products went back into our economy, went back into supporting the people from that background, right? So to pioneer an idea like that, to import shea butter black soap into the UK and sell it to other retail organizations was really important to me, and I took that on. I took that on from the perspective of a social entrepreneur. I was going to source it from the women in the villages in the north of Ghana and bring it right to, retailers in the UK, cutting out any middlemen. So you pay those women really well so they can afford to live, and then reinvest some of the profit back into that local economy as well. So it was really important to me to do that. And while I was doing that, I met so many people. So I was supplying to mainly hair product shops in the UK, which predominantly was at the time dominated by the Asian community, right? Every so often I walked into a salon to talk to them about shea butter, and I'm importing shea butter, and most of the salons were owned by Black people. The conversation you heard, the view you heard at the time was that, yes, we need to do our own thing, because when you go into these Asian shops, they treat you this way, that way, that way. Like the experience, the ordinary Black experience in walking into an Asian hair product shop was not one that they felt was satisfactory for one reason or another, whether it was that they felt disrespected by the sales assistants, people felt they were followed around, and just not being spoken to in the right way. Okay, so fast forward to a few years down the line when we decided to do Westaff. It was going to bring together selling hair products, selling food, and other African crafts to introduce African products into a wider community, which is still on the agenda of why I started the shea butter business. And I took into mind, I took that to heart, that, you know what, people, the conversations I've had with people that I am trying to serve are that they want an atmosphere where they feel respected, where they feel like, you know, we are exchanging support. They're giving you their money, and then you are essentially also, you know, providing them a service. So I took that to mind in trying to create the kind of atmosphere that I wanted to deliver these services in, right? So you want to be polite, you want to give great customer service, you want to let the people know that you appreciate them, and all of this and all of that. I love customer service, okay? But in so doing, you get to a point where you realize something is not so right. And of late I've had in-depth conversations about serving the Black community in general, serving, like, providing services for Black people. And for me, after doing that specific, you know, job for as long as I have, it really opens your mind up to certain things that were said, certain things that, you know, people felt. Because I quickly realized that, okay, so my example number one is that the fact that we as the Black people that went to buy hair products from the Asian shops felt like we were disrespected, right? I want to create a scenario, right? Imagine a scenario where you are serving a community, right? You're serving a community, and out of them, 90% of them come in acting, excuse my French, a fool. Okay? I'm just trying to be as candid as I possibly can. But 90% of the people will come in acting a way where they will not act if they go to Sainsbury's, if they go to Marks and Spencer's. If they will not act like that, right? But when they come into your establishment, they feel for some reason they can act in a different way, right? And after being exposed to that for a certain period of time, one has to adapt the way they behave to those customers to regain either respect or, you know, make sure that they're not being taken for granted, okay? So after being in a business for a little while, you realize that, maybe there's a conversation to be had here, right? Because when I walk into a shop that is predominantly run by an Asian family or whatever, when they see me, what they see is their average experience that they have had with people like me. And so their guard is already up to behave, you know, I'm not saying that we should generalize, yes, and treat people like we're all the same people. But at some point, you treat people like the average, right? So you treat them like that and hope that they present a different demeanor that then makes you draw back a bit, right? So after a while, I understood why those shops behave like that, because we have tried to deliver on the best customer service, whatever, but people will still come in and they will be complaining about paying for a bag for 5p. Yeah. And bear in mind, in the UK, people are paying for bags for more than 5p in a whole lot of other shops, right? But in their head, because you are an African shop, because you are predominantly serving the African community, some way, somehow, you're supposed to lower standards about the environment, that people have tried so hard to prioritize keeping the environment safe and therefore selling these bags. It's been years that organizations has been doing this. But when they walk into your establishment, they want to argue with you about a 5p bag. And you're like, you won't do that anywhere else. Why do you feel you have to do it here? And so after a while, you have to understand that it is not anymore just, you know, because they are Black and no, it is not that. It is complete disrespect. It is complete disrespect on your work that you're trying to do, on your establishment, on your hard work. It is a disrespect. And it comes to a point where you can either continue take it and calmly explain, or you are like, You have a guard up, right? You have a guard up, and that is not the way that anybody want to run a business. But my first example is after this time of running those businesses, I understand why maybe the Asian community that went before us and run those businesses have that kind of attitude towards our community, right? And if the onus is on us to change the way we behave when we walk into these shops. Yeah, because there are certain things we will do in these shops that we would not do in other establishments. So it is not right that you choose to disrespect them and their business and expect that they respect you back. Does that make sense? So that is one example that I will put. The other example that I'm going to use to have this conversation is years ago, I went to Ghana, and some people would have heard me say this. I came back and I said, I want that kind of Hajia energy. I want that kind of Hajia energy. And the Hajia energy I was referring to was a woman that sells skincare products, mainly bleaching skincare products, right? In Ghana, in the market. And her aura about her is one that is not very receptive. For me, as somebody that take pride in customer service, I experience her aura. Okay, I'll give you an example. So basically, we got there to buy the things. She was not there. Nobody else could serve us, right? Besides her. So we had to wait for her. And then you're not allowed to obviously touch the product. You tell them what product you want, and then her assistants will get the product, give it to her, and you go and pay. So we waited in line. Don't worry, as you can tell, I'm not in the bleaching, but I had people that wanted certain things that I wanted to get for them, right? So we waited in line, waited for Hajia to come. And then Hajia finally came, okay? She came, she sat down lower on the ground, and we were sort of standing higher. And they collected your product, put it in the basket, put it at her feet, right? and then she added up how much your things cost. She ripped a plastic bag, put it in the basket, and then you paid her, and you bent down and collected your things. And I was like, what? This is not normal. Like this is just beyond me. And a lot of people that have heard it were like, oh my God, how can she have customers still? She must be using juju, da 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 da. Upon reflection, and again being in this business that I am in for this long, right? It feels like people just want to be abused. Like Hajia doesn't know me, and maybe if Hajia knew me, the service that she gave me might be different. But she doesn't know me, but she knows people that look like me that has come through and maybe again acted, excuse my French, a fool. So again, she has a way of servicing people that look like me. As bad as it is, but I say this, okay, that yes, it is good as someone that is delivering service to people, that you treat people as individuals, which is what I still try to do. But on a grand scale, in a larger conversation, most of the time you will treat people the way that you have encountered someone that look like them. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of life. You treat people based on the average. And I am very certain she has come across people that has acted all sort of ways. And so at some point, the woman said, nope, if I smile and I'm polite with you and I'm all this on that, it gives you room to disrespect me in my own establishment. So when you come, I'll put you in your place. And then if you don't like it, don't come back. If you don't like it, go elsewhere. But what she has realized is that she has certain goods that people want that they cannot get anywhere else. Okay. And so whatever happened, people will go back to her to buy things. I recently realized in this 2025 that what people are looking for is not so much as they're looking for great service on the average. Yeah, the average person, I'm speaking in the average sense today, okay? The average person is not looking for great customer service, have the products I want, treat me with respect, da, 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 da. The average person, that's not their priority. Their priority is, do they have what I want? And I'm talking the average African or Black person. Do they have what I want, and is it cheap? Hajia has mastered that. I can give you what you want, and mine is the cheapest. You can go anywhere you want, and you will not find it as cheap as it is here. So if you want to go. And so that's the attitude that she has, right? And it is sad for me. It's sad because I am big on customer service. I think it's so important to treat people with respect and dignity, right? Whatever the situation. But after doing business like that for a while, yes, after doing business like that for a while, you realize what works. And so you reflect and think, do I go to a place where Hajia is? That to stop people from coming here and disrespecting me, because people take your kindness for weakness sometimes, right? They take your kindness for weakness. So to stop people from coming in here into a space where I come and work and provide service for people and disrespect me, I need to wear an exterior that said, don't come here and play. If you don't want to come here, go elsewhere. You can go. The door is open, right? And that's the exterior that she presents, and she still have customers. So then do you move into a market where for a Black community, you provide really cheap services and therefore they will come anyway, right? You have what they want, it's cheap. But honestly, ask yourself the question. If you take two organizations, one that is providing you incredible service and the products that you need, but the price is reasonable, not cheap, but reasonable. And there's another place that you go, you buy what you want, you get what you want from there, and it's dead cheap. The chances are the average Black person will go to the place that is dead cheap. Then when you go to the place that is dead cheap, you want great customer service. Guys, it doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And as a community, I believe it's time that we reflected on what exactly that we are feeding into and what exactly that we want, right? My final scenario then, my final scenario that I have realized, and I've used it a lot, to reflect again, right? Is that it's not that the people in the Black community that a lot of us provide these services for don't have money to maybe pay for certain things from you, right? But they don't want to give you their money because you will see that they can buy expensive goods. Yeah, they can buy expensive goods, they can buy expensive products. You can see it. But when it comes to you, they don't believe you deserve their money. And that is a challenge in trying to build a stronger Black economy, in trying to build a stronger race as a Black people. There's a collectivity that needs to happen, right? They say that, your money needs to move how many times within the community before it goes out. And in the Black community, our money doesn't move like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like personally for me as well, right? I have come to a place in my life where I'm like, I can only give you what you give me. This is about time that we stop this blind loyalty to people that simply because their skin look like us, right? And they simply don't care. They don't care about you. The nature of humans is to be selfish. And I speak like this as a Christian, but the nature of a true Christian is to be selfless, right? So I approach people from a place of selflessness to begin with. When I see you, that's how I approach you. I approach you from a place of selflessness. I'm willing to give. I'm willing to learn. Well, how can I help you? How can I assist? I've come to a place in my life when it is that, yes, I'll approach you like that from the beginning. But if you show me that you are undeserving, believe me that we will match energy for energy from here and on. Like, I don't now see the need to invest into people that are unwilling to invest in me. Literally, I don't. And for a long time, the video I played earlier, for a long time, I have carried a certain burden, an invisible burden that, I can be a Black person that really do well, that thrive. But if I just do well and other Black people are still looked down on, it subsequently affect the way other people see me when they see me and don't know me, right? So it has been a burden that I've carried to, as I carry myself up to another level from where I am in my growth journey. Maybe I should carry some Black people with me, right? And I've realized that I don't believe I can do that anymore, right? I had an amazing conversation with someone, and we spoke about on your way up on a climb, you cannot carry unnecessary load, okay? And so I have come to a place where I've realized that for years I've carried unnecessary load, like literally. For years I have carried unnecessary load, and it's about time that we drop those loads to free ourselves to climb to where we're designed to get to. As unfortunate that is, until I get there, I can't help anyone. And I can't be trying to climb with people trying to pull you down all the time. It just wouldn't work, right? It just wouldn't work. And so as sad as it is, I think I've come to the end of 2025 realizing that, Sylvia, on your growth journey, in your growth season now, you need to make some tough decisions, make some tough choices. And the concept of that, let us all grow together as a community and uplift each other and come together and work together as one. It only works if you have like-minded people. If you don't have like-minded people and people are just coming to take and take and take until you have nothing else to give, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. So, 20 minutes later, this is my rant. This is where I am in my life. I hope you find it useful. Thank you. Bye-bye.